Good Sunday evening, high school sports fans. Here comes, there he is. Hi, Coach. Joe Gillaway with Lingelstown Gazette Sports, live from the Orchard Street studio. And this is our boys basketball postseason recap and preview show. I'll be joined momentarily by our panel of experts as soon as we're done thanking those responsible for bringing you tonight's show. And there's our guest coach, Snip Esterly. How are you, Coach?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Good. I just started doing the introduction, so if you just want to hang a little bit, we'll get right to you, Coach.
Sounds good.
So anyway, our Lingelstown Gazette Sports Platinum sponsors are responsible for tonight's show and all of our shows. They are Capital Region Insurance Agency, Payor Apparel, Larry Bragg from Payor, Team PA, AAU Basketball, Ted's Bar and Grill, the Tire Mart, American Legion Post 272, Crystal Bob at Iron Valley Real Estate, Hoffman Ford, Sam Hartley Decking, and Tonino's Pizza. Thank you once again to these great local businesses for their continued support of Lingelstown Gazette Sports and our area student athletes. We want to let you know that this is a prostate cancer awareness show. I had prostate cancer. It was they found it in 2022. I ended up having to get my prostate removed early in December. And this is not about me. I say this every week. This is about you and your loved ones. Please, if you have a loved one that's a male that's over like 45 years old, please encourage him to get checked for prostate cancer. It's a very easy thing to do. There are the risk levels. An average risk is 50 years old, goes back to 45 if you have it in your family. African Americans are higher risks. And then once you get to be an African American with prostate cancer in your family, please get checked at right around 40 years old. 1 in 7 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. And once again, it's just a simple blood test to get things started, at least to know whether or not this is something that you may have. So thank you for your time there. Anyway, we got Mike Pilsitz, Coach Mike Pilsitz, sitting in with us tonight. He's a friend of ours and a state champion head coach. And we just lost him. He just went off the screen.
It's great to have Mike on and Coach Esterly, two PIAA state championship head coaches. How do you like it?
How do you get that? A little local yokel show like us, like ours. So anyway, Mike will be back on, but he was the 2008 head coach for Steel High, who won over Susquehanna Township. Anyway, Coach Snip Esterly, how are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a great weekend.
I bet you did. What a game last night. And I mean, from beginning to end, I want to just show John. Thank you for sending this to me. Just moments ago, John sent this to me, and
courtesy of the Reading Eagle.
Two of my favorite coaches, and I mean that, and two of the best coaches out there. So it's one of those games that one really good coach is going to win and one really good coach isn't. So you've been on both sides of that, though, haven't you, Coach?
Yeah, I have. This is a much better place.
Yeah, I'll bet it is. And that's 2 wins over Reading in 2 weeks. Like 21. I know it is. I was looking at the kind of the archives, and before these 2 wins, you had lost 4 in a row and lost like 17 out of 21 over the last, I don't know how many years. That went back before you started at Berks Catholic. But it's been a tough road to hoe for Berks Catholic against Reading over the years, and obviously because that's one of the top big school programs. But let's go back to that game 2 weeks ago. I just thought you guys played so close to perfectly, and I don't think many coaches are going to use the term perfect when it comes to their team's performance. But was that the kind of performance that you guys practice hard for, and you just hope that you have that someday?
Well, we played unbelievable. I thought that was probably our best game of the year.
Yeah.
We actually shot very well. Not only did we play defensively well, we shot well. I think we had 11 threes in that game. And I'm going, I'm playing them again. I said, how are we going to beat these guys? I don't know if we're going to shoot 11 threes
right.
at the arena. Well, we came close. We got 7, I think.
That's pretty close. John here, Velios, we were watching it separately and texting back and forth, and we were kind of like giddy about the performance. And I got on this text that I'm on with Mike and Coach Dwan Lee and a couple other coaches. I said, you guys would not believe Berks Catholic right now. So anyway, but fast forward 2 weeks, and then last night, and before I turn it over to these guys, talk a little bit about. I was able to see that you guys kind of made a big circle in the middle of the floor last night, and everybody like held hands. You embraced one another. It was the teams, it was the coaches, it was the cheerleaders. Talk about the cause, why you guys did that, and how that came about, Coach.
It came about Coach Perez. Yeah, he texted me early in the morning and said, "Hey, would you guys mind doing this?" And I have no problems with that. That sounds like a great idea, because it's it's getting to be a problem a little bit where like I know Muhlenberg and Reading had the game before they played in the playoffs. I mean, it got ugly a little bit, and I think Coach wanted to get away from that and just like, hey, this is just a basketball game,
Right.
There's more important things than a basketball game. Obviously, you want to win, but it's not do or die.
Absolutely. Dave Berman. Go ahead, John.
Coach, real quick. So, Joe, you didn't mention though what exactly we were talking about, in case the audience was asking or watching. You're talking about the Berks County tournament that has been going on the last week or so.
Thank you, John. I guess I assumed that. Yeah, but people wouldn't.
So, congratulations, Coach, on winning that tournament over Reading. And it's actually your first Berks County championship since 2018, I believe. And, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And like Joe said, we were watching that game live, and wow, just a high level of competition there on by both teams, and I wanted to say also, in District 3, Berks Catholic has the highest power ranking out of all 6 classes. And I want to congratulate you on that, Coach, and of course on the championship. And then, like you mentioned about the sportsmanship, I read in the Reading Eagle too that every single player after the game shook hands with your players at this after the game. Talk maybe about that.
Yeah, that was really special in Reading's part to do that. That's tough when you lose a game like that, and the way it, like the competitiveness. That's something special. We really greatly appreciated it, and I'm pretty sure I was going to have our team do the same thing, because I just think that shows a lot of sportsmanship. It really, really does.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great to see. Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Dave Berman.
Good to see you again, Snip. It's great on our show tonight. We have Snip and Mike Pilsitz from Steel High, 2 PIAA state championship winning head coaches. Isn't that great, Joe?
Awesome. I mean, I was doing the stats for Coach Esterly again today, like I like to do, and my eyeballs started rolling back in my head. I needed to kind of hire out for that job. But yeah, state championships with Reading Central Catholic. Still looking for, I guess, the state championship with Berks has eluded you, but nothing else has eluded you, right, at Berks Catholic?
I guess you could say that. Hey, it's tough to win it's tough to win a county, not unless
that's why I said eluded. That's why I said eluded. There's no disrespect, Matt. You've won so much at Berks Catholic since you came
and I'll tell
aboard.
you, it's hard. As soon as the Philly schools were involved, I said it's going to be even tougher now.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, this Berks County championship, I was thinking to ask you this. It in some ways it's sort of harder to win that championship than winning district title in 4A, isn't it?
Yeah, there's definitely bigger school. My longtime assistant Bill Fowler and I, we always used to go back to fourth and say, what would you rather do, win the county or districts? And I thought, well, both. But he would always pick districts, and I would pick the county, because I thought the county is so hard. I mean, even this year, you look at our division, we have Muhlenberg, Reading High, Wilson, and us. I mean, every night is a battle. And I think it just gets us ready for the playoffs too. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I wanted to get your opinion on it, because Reading is a 6A team and a 3-time state champion. I mean, that's just amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Being an old school media guy, radio, TV, broadcaster, Central PA, Coach Esterly, the unbelievable coverage you guys get there. Not only Lingostown Gazette Sports here, but Mike Drago, his Paul Roberts, and you have had some unbelievable interviews. WEEU Radio and the Reading Eagle, to name a few.
Those guys do an absolutely great job. If I ever want to know something, I'll talk to Paul Roberts, because he sees everybody, and he, like, especially when we pick all county teams and all division teams, I look to see him, because we don't get to see a lot of the players, and I respect his opinion tremendously. They do unbelievable. WEU, as you said, Mike doesn't do it anymore. I think this is the second year he didn't do it, and he's truly missed, because he did a fantastic job as well. But Paul Roberts and the WE guys, they do a phenomenal job.
Mike,
I'll tell you what was great to see is my son and I went up to see Bishop McDevitt and Central Dauphin.
Oh,
what an
wow.
atmosphere that was. I'll tell you what, all the county championships were fantastic, weren't they?
Oh my, you better believe. And the girls' game before that came down to a bucket. Kind of ended.
I didn't see that.
Kind of ended the same way. It was a nicely drawn up offensive play. It worked out for Mechanicsburg, and they beat Central Dauphin on the girls' side, and it was exactly the opposite on the boys' side. Yeah. So I was probably sitting right near you there. I was somewhere in the gym near you.
I was up in the rafters.
Oh, were you? Okay. Coach Mike Pilsitz, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, Coach, I just want to say congratulations on the county championship this year and all your success. It's been a pleasure coaching against you. I had the privilege to do that once. Wasn't very successful, but
join the crowd.
A testament to everything you've been able to accomplish in your relationships with kids. It's just been a true pleasure to watch.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I love the kids, man. I'll tell you, when people think, they only see me, during the games, and they go, man, how do the kids like him? I'm totally different at practice. He's, we have a lot of fun, but we know when it's time to go to work.
That's
right.
Funny. Between the lines.
Absolutely.
I think one of the first times I saw you coach was down at Steel High, maybe 8-10 years ago. It was a while ago. I think it was a real high scoring game. Might even have went into overtime. At least it went down to the wire. And I looked like you lost 10 pounds in that game, just sweating and going off, just going crazy. And I left there thinking that is the kind of coach that I like to watch coach, And I know it's not a show for you. It's not an act for you. That's just how you're feeling. But, you mentioned about, sometimes it looks like you're being tough on these guys, but I'm sure you're leading with love. Talk about how important it is to kind of gain their trust and let them know that I love you, young man. And we're going to get into this and do it together.
It's tough sometimes, because you have to make decisions like every parent has to do with their kids. And we as coaches got to do some things. So we got to do some things, when kids maybe are late for practice, do this, they don't do well in school. You got to sit down and talk to them. Say, you know what, this is how you got to do things. And it's tough sometimes, because it's just like having your own kids. You have to discipline them.
Right.
And they want it. I had a kid 2 years ago that said, man, I'm not going to say who it was, but because he goes, Coach, I wish you would coach this sport, that he was involved with, because we lack so much discipline. It's unbelievable. They want discipline. Kids want discipline.
Right. Yeah, we saw you giving it to, I think, does he go by Josiah Jordan a couple years ago?
I love
John.
JJ.
Oh, man, what an athlete. John and I saw it. It was during the county championship game. And
yeah, he wasn't doing some things that I wanted him to
do. whatever you were trying to, whatever you did instill in him, it worked, because he came off the bench and he went off. I mean, he just had a great remainder of the game.
Speaking of JJ, he had a great football year this year at Slippery Rock.
Did he really?
Yeah, fantastic year. I think he was maybe a player of the year or something.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I think he had a shot for the NFL down the road. I think he had another year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
Davey, go ahead, bud.
Kingston McCoy, 22 points a game. And what more can you say about him? What's his college situation?
I am so lucky. To see that kid every day. People can only see him like maybe once, a week, maybe. I got the privilege to see him every day. I've never had a kid that worked so hard in his life at every aspect of everything in his life, be it school, be it workouts. I mean, I got to kick him out of the gym. He
Wow.
calls me up on Sundays, say, "Hey, coach, can I get in?" I said, "Oh my God, Kingston." I said, "This old man needs to charge his battery." And I said, "I'll be down." So I opened the gym up, and I have such respect for him that I know he'll do the right thing. And he closes the gym. He'll shoot for an hour or so, hour and a half, and then he'll leave. And like this summer, he would open the gym at 6:00. We would open the gym at 6:00. He would get like 6, 7 kids in there working out from 6 to like 7:30, 8 in the morning. Incredible work ethic. Colgate got a good one.
Yeah, that interview he gave last night after the game, and I mean, I've interviewed hundreds of kids in the last 10 years. You could just tell how mature he was, how with humility, how locked into what he just accomplished or what they just accomplished he was. I mean, all business. And he got done with that interview. And again, I was texting my friends. I'm like, if you guys can go back and watch this interview that Kingston McCoy just gave, it was incredible. I mean, he was just a superb representation of your team, your basketball program, and your school.
Yeah, he has a great family as well. We had a little scare with Kingston in October. He had a stress fracture in his back. He couldn't do anything for 6 weeks.
Wow.
So oh man, I felt so bad for him because he was like, oh my God, he was like a caged animal, man, because he can't sit still. He has to do something. And for 6 weeks, he couldn't do anything.
Wow. John?
Coach, so obviously, the goal this year is, you got the counties, your goal is districts and then state championship. You made the state championship game last year and fell short. We've heard a lot about Kingston McCoy. I mean, but the team's got to have more than just Kingston McCoy. Tell us about the rest of the team.
We got a nice little group that fits in with Kingston, which is so special, is because when you got a player like that, he makes everybody else. Kingston makes everybody else better. It's just not like he can score points, but he gets everybody involved. Last night, as a fact, against Frenning, he penetrated his split and he kicked it out to Brady. And Brady hit a big time 3 when we were down 3, and that was he just has so much confidence in the other players. Brady is our point guard. Probably one of the better defensive players in the county. He doesn't score much, but man, he handles the ball well, and he's got great defensive presence on him. And him and Kingston are our best defense. I always put Kingston on the best player, and then Brady gets the second one if they're not too big. And then we got a great sophomore, Carmelo Harper, who is only a sophomore, but a freshman year he was fantastic, and he got off to a slow start because this summer he had major surgery down in Philadelphia in his nose. I don't want to get too specific, but he's all right now. But that took him a good 2 months to get back in shape. And then, even in our second game, we lost one of our starting guards, Carmelo. Not Carmelo, Jeremiah. And that was a big burden. And then we lost one of our starters this week because he did something pretty silly in school this week, and that's not tolerated. So he missed the playoffs. I'm not going to mention his name, but we got Johnny Giza, a junior, about 6'4", 6'5", coming on strong. He's got to be a little more consistent, but he's coming on like a gangbuster. So and then we got juniors. Usually, I can't pronounce his last name. I apologize. It's a classic last name, man.
But as long as he gets to practice on time, that's what matters most, right?
That boy, can he shoot? And he had a big couple threes against. Well, he had 16 against Reading. He's usually our first man off the bench, and he started when Melo couldn't play because of it. Melo hurt his hip like 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, and couldn't play for like a week. And then he started, and he had 16 against Reading, and I think he had 8 or 9 against Reading on one Friday night. So, and then we got a Faith. He don't play as much, but a tremendous athlete, football guy. So we got some guys, that can score. We're averaging like 7, 8 threes a game.
That's a lot.
For me, that's tough because I'm kind of old school where you know, you got to prove to me that you get the green light to shoot the three, and
Right.
these guys have proved it.
Yeah, I'm glad that John asked you that question about the rest of the team because, of course, it takes more than one player, no matter how good he is. But it wasn't the guy who had the 5-point. Let's just call it like a little 5-point run or swing. That guy wasn't named McCoy. It was a 3-pointer and then 2 free throws within seconds. And you guys
Brady Olmark,
yeah.
You know what he shoots? You know what the ironic thing about that is? You know what he's shooting from the foul line?
No,
50%.
Oh wow!
He got fouled. I went, oh my god!
And that was coming right off of the 3-pointer too.
Yes. Well, he can shoot, flat out shoot. I want him to shoot more. I practice every day. He's shooting. I mean, will you please shoot the ball?
Right.
Yes, feel like it's there. But he drained 2 free throws, nothing but net. I went, well, it must be our night.
Right. Mike Pilsitz, got anything else?
Yeah, Coach. I think when we played against each other, you had the Franklin kid that went to Siena. How do you compare the leadership style and motive?
I think you got enough of that question, right?
Yeah, I think I got enough. Alex Franklin was truly, truly a great player in person. The only thing that held him back from the NBA is he wasn't a good shooter. He did everything else, and he was a perfect fit for Siena. Alex went on to play for a national team in Puerto Rico, and I'm pretty sure he played in Spain for I'd say about 15 years, maybe. Wow. I don't think he's playing anymore, to be honest with you. I kind of lost touch with him the last year or two, but he was a fantastic player, perfect fit for. And his dad, if you remember, I don't know if this goes way back. His dad was Stanley Cooper from Reading High.
Yes,
do you remember how good he was?
Yep. Dave, you want to take us out, bud? You got one more for Coach?
No, Coach, always great. I love following you guys, and hope maybe I'll run into you guys down the road in the state tournament somewhere.
I hope so. Coach,
thank you. I sent that email to you the second you guys closed that game out last night, by the way. I said, I got to make sure they win first. I told my friends here, I was texting them. I said, I think I could probably get Coach Eshley on, but let's see if he wins first. And you did. And thank you so much. I know there's a lot going on right now.
Appreciate having me on. It's always a lot of fun with you guys.
Yep. Well, we're going to be watching you the rest of the way. Just have start with another really good practice tomorrow, right? That's where it all starts.
Oh, we were in the gym Saturday morning.
Oh, were you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We were only playing 3-on-3s though. I let the kids have some fun.
Well, we wish you good health. We wish you lots of made threes, and we want Brady to make some more free throws, and hopefully you guys can keep the things rolling.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see
have
you.
a great evening, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Take care.
Good luck.
Oh man, what a great guy, huh?
I mean, it's not very often you get a coach with 800 some wins, Joe.
862
on your show.
No, 862.
I mean, we could talk about his accolades like for hours. Honestly,
John, I have them all, but I mean, I know everybody that talks to him says this how many years, this how many wins, this how many, and I just thought, you know what, he knows he has all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean. Most of the coaches like to talk about their current team and their players, and then that's fair. I will say one other stat about Coach Esterly. Since Berks Catholic's been in existence since 2011, so the 12 season, 2012 was their first, district game. So he won this first year, right? And since then, he's been in 6 district games, and he's won all of them.
Wow.
So
that's incredible. You and I talked about that last year, John.
Yeah, I think he, once he gets there, he knows how to win. That's for sure.
Yeah.
16 seasons at Berks Catholic, 4 Berks County titles, 6 District 3 titles. So, okay, so let's jump into this housekeeping thing. And Dave, I'm going to need you for this one. Let's first talk about halftime of Tuesday's game. The Pennsylvania Basketball Officials Association Crawford Hunter Sportsmanship Award, which is voted annually by Mid-Penn Conference game officials or referees. And this year's on the boys' side was Milton Hershey. And that's Coach Mark Zerby, but he's the AD now. He accepted for his team. So we kind of mentioned that because it's a little bit of like an outside the lines type of thing. But that means that the Milton Hershey boys are out there doing it with integrity and respect, and that is voted on by the officials. They're the ones that are saying, hey, this team needs to be recognized. And on the girls' side this year, I know it's the boys' show, but we're going to do the same on the girls' show. Central Dauphin was voted. They got the sportsmanship award, the Mid-Penn sportsmanship award. So congratulations to both of those teams. And then Dave, let's jump into this. The game that the team got. Tell me what happened there with the Constitution.
Yeah, I sent you at the Philadelphia Public League playoff game, Constitution. We had Rob Moore on the show before, and you saw the article, Philadelphia Inquirer, Engineering and Sciences. It was just
Oh man,
Is that Pill?
yeah.
Man, he just had that.
for me. I don't know what you guys read into it. Bob. He's going to retire after this year. Is
Rob Moore.
I don't know. I just think, it was crazy, and that's unfortunate what happened. It's unfortunate. So Carver and Engineering out, Constitution advances.
Carver was up 12 with a couple of minutes to go, a minute and something. And but what happened was all I could ascertain by watching the video is there was a little bit of just pushing and shoving, just normal kind of stuff. I did see the Carver team empty the bench, and I think that the suspension was because of that and not anything that happened prior. And then the Carver fans started pouring out of the stands, of the bleachers, and running on the floor. I know you have to watch disciplining a team for what the fans do, what the adults do. But it was just a bad situation.
So Joe, what happened? Dave was cutting out there. What was the end result?
It was a Philadelphia Public League game. Carver and Engineering and Science. They were playing Constitution. They were leading by like double digits late in the game, and there was a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. And from what I saw, the Carver players emptied the bench.
I got that part. So how did it end?
Oh, they just stopped the game right there, and they made it they discontinued the game and gave Constitution the win.
Okay.
So, and it's a shame for the players that didn't take part in it. I mean, you have to know. And you know what? Now Mike, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Mike? What I was trying to get at of Mike is, how important of a message do you give your players at the beginning of the season? You cannot leave the bench for anything. Okay? You can't leave the bench. And we see it in football sometimes too. It's a shame. It's a shame for the players that didn't take part in it. Shame on the adults that did take part in it. And just so anyway, Rob Moore and his Constitution, generals, I think they are, Dave?
Yep.
They move on. So let's look at the Mid-Penn tournament. Central Dauphin wins that one, and it wasn't smooth sailing at all for them. The opening round, they beat Greencastle 83-59. McDevitt over Milton Hershey 58-50. And then Thursday night at the Dome Gym, what a throwdown. Cumberland Valley's Dome Gym. Yeah, what a throwdown. McDevitt just came in prepared. Coach Jim Rao had them. And I was wrong. I didn't think it would be a blowout like a lot of people did, but I thought it'd be like low double digits, 10 or 12. And that's what I was telling people. I just don't think that Jim Rao is going to come in. Especially, that's a talented team. John, did you watch the game?
I watched, the whole game. CD has had a great season, and they're 6A. They're loaded. Their starters are very, very good.
Yeah.
And McDevitt's 4A. They don't have quite the hoopla around their players, but they got good players, and they played very, very well.
Oh,
they could have easily won that game.
Well,
it came down to the last play of the game, and CD pulled it off. Give them credit.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way, and it was totally unexpected from what I saw, but McDevitt played really, really well.
The only difference between the first half and the second half, McDevitt made a lot of shots in the first half. And it's not like they totally cooled off in the second half, but they didn't make anywhere near that many shots. And maybe I just didn't see it. Maybe Central Dauphin was contesting them a little more in the second half. I'm not sure, but man, those guys played hard. McDevitt.
Yeah, McDevitt sort of had CD off their game.
Off their game.
That CD did not look like themselves, and that's a credit to McDevitt's defense and the coaching.
Right. Great pass by Johnny Shirey. He's like their first or second guy off the bench. Their 6'8" guy to Khalil Roberts at the very end of the game. Well, it really left 3.9 seconds for McDevitt to go down the court and try to score. They added 0.9 of a second, and I went and put it in slow motion. They just put 0.9 of a second on the clock.
Yeah, that's tough to do, to go to full length of the court in 3 seconds and get a good shot.
He did, though. He did.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he had a pretty good shot. A little off balance, but
it was lined up too. I think it was just short.
Yeah. So I don't know who the player was, but he did a great job of getting down there. I don't know what else to say, but what a great game. And both teams played really well. Congratulations to Central Dauphin coach Seth Leonard. Now he's got an uncontested solo Commonwealth title in addition to the Mid-Penn Conference title. And let's see, where is that? Do I have a photo? I wanted to put that up there. There's the CD guys breathing a sigh of relief. And then I also want to show this too. And I know it is a boys show, but congratulations to the Mechanicsburg girls who beat Central Dauphin girls in the opening game. And man, what a game that was. And so anyway, we got Mechanicsburg girls, Central Dauphin boys winning.
Yeah, and like Coach Snip Esterly was at the game with his son. He enjoyed it, but he was also there for a reason. He's scouting McDevitt.
There's no doubt about it.
He's going to see McDevitt most likely in the district tournament.
Absolutely. I can't see it going any other way. I mean, they have to show up and beat the teams ahead of them. But so how about the other tournaments here, guys? Let's take a look at that. There's the boys basketball. And Dave, Lancaster Mennonite, you and I talk about them a lot, don't we?
Just found a way to get it done again. They beat Chester earlier this year by 2 down here. No fear, old-fashioned basketball. And Octorara plays, they just play with energy, and they're going to be a tough out in the District 3 5A tournament. But, yeah, Lancaster Mennonite, what more can you say? Congrats. And it was a hell of a game.
And they beat the number 1 seed in the whole tournament, the first round, which was Hempfield, 6A Hempfield.
Who didn't even make the district tournament.
How about that? That's kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we're going to take a look here.
Altoona makes it with a District 6 with a 5 and 7.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. So there's York Adams boys basketball tournament. York Suburban. You know what? Lancaster Mennonite, that was their first county tournament championship in the 40-year history of the program, by the way, fellas.
Wow.
York Suburban, first since 1973.
Wow.
I think I was in second grade, and I'm almost
freshman at Providence High School, and the Flyers played the Canadians. And losing in 5 games.
You know what though? York William Penn, they're just so back. We talk all the time, and John, you get in these conversations with us, and we always kind of want these city schools to kind of come back around and your York William Penns, your JP McCaskies, Harrisburg, of course, Steel High, Allentown, Allen. These are all, Dave, all these schools, and Mike, if you can hear me, we're talking about the urban schools kind of making a comeback, and how happy we are about York William Penn. They lost in overtime the other night, but nice team. They got next, right? They have Reading next.
What a game that's going to be! One of those.
Oh my!
Done.
Well, Nasir Barnes is incredible.
Yeah.
Second-year head coach Kerry Glover's doing a great job. They got a guy by the name of DeShields. He's their 6'8" guy with real soft hands, and but hats off to York Suburban. They did a great job, and they were up 10 or 12 earlier, and even in the second half they were up double digits. And William Penn, I watched every second of it, man. They just chiseled away, and it was just a great game. I mean, I say this and I mean it. I hate to see either team lose that game, but so congrats to York Suburban. Their boys and their girls both won. and neither was probably for sure. Neither was supposed to win their county tournaments. And then, of course, there's the one we were just talking about with Coach Snip Esterly, Berks Catholic over Reading. So, and that was Berks' first win. John, you mentioned it while we're with Snip there. First win since 2018. So, I wouldn't say Berks was much of a surprise, but the other two were kind of surprises. So let's move in and take a look at some brackets here, guys. And we're not going to say much about, this bracket. That's 1A, and we have no real 1A schools in our area. Harrisburg Christian, I guess, and but
your country day beat East, Joe. Your country day beat East.
Your country
right?
day, yeah, and East is a pretty good
gotta
school.
Be my favorite.
Yeah, man,
Yeah, right.
They're pretty good too. And East beat McDevitt, and East has been playing some pretty decent basketball. The defending champ is High Point Baptist. The number 1 seed is Coventry Christian, and this is only their 4th season in District 3. I think they're from Pottsville.
Yeah, Pottstown.
Pottstown. Yeah,
they came down here and beat one of our 5A teams, Strathaven.
Oh, so they're
here, but there was 7. They came down here and beat them, and Strathaven just beat Marple Newtown, who earlier beat Penn. So that was a hell of a win for Coventry Christian.
Yeah, there's some good teams in here. Good programs. You got Linville Hill, Coventry Christian, York Country Day. You got some really good 1A programs competing in this tournament for sure. So okay, drum roll please. 2A. Steel High representing. They did what they had to do. They held on to that 3 seed. Mike Pilsitz, I don't know if they're better off with the 3 seed or the 4 seed or 2 seed. Who knows? Because there's some good. DeLone Catholic and York Catholic are both very good.
No, you got to win no matter what seed you are.
Yeah, so. That's right. I kind of not kind of. I follow the power rankings like for weeks, and I was kind of rooting for Steel High to get a good spot. And I'm thinking, I don't even know what the good spot is here.
Yeah, DeLone Catholic or York Catholic, either one of them. You got it.
They lost to York Catholic by 22 back on January 3rd. Okay, now that's a lifetime, and as a coach, from January 3rd to February, whatever we're at, the middle of February, that's a lifetime. But Steel High also only lost to McDevitt by 3 early in the season. You guys remember that?
Yeah, and Joe, also York Catholic barely lost to Berks Catholic. So,
yeah, how about that?
So York Catholic's pretty good too.
The most impressive thing to York Catholic to me is that they don't have a bad loss on their schedule. They lost to 6A Red Line. They've lost to Trinity, Berks Catholic.
No bad losses. No bad losses.
They don't have no bad losses.
Yeah. So, but we have a first-year head coach, Jeremy Buzz Cable at Steel High, and I'm just kind of hearing a good buzz about Coach Cable.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, there you go. Very good. Thanks. A good buzz. I didn't mean that, by the way. But no, I think the community's happy with what he's doing, and I hear his players are enjoying playing for him. And I don't know if you have to enjoy playing for a coach, but they're glad that he's there. Is that what you're hearing, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from even outsiders were saying from the summer league, as soon as they seen our kids play, that they were playing much harder than they have been in the past. They seemed like they were into it. They were competing against the larger schools in the area in summer league and holding their own. So I think there's been a good amount of confidence going with this group all season long.
So we wish Steel High. We try not to root on this show because we are officially like media, but we like Steel High. So we're going to wish Steel High well and hope that they bring home gold in 2A. So let's move to 3A here.
Absolutely.
Usual suspects, Trinity with the number 1 seed. They are the defending champion. The last 4 champions were Trinity, Columbia. So Columbia is not in it this year. They just had a terrible season, but this could be a great final. And we're assuming now, because we already said that we think that Berks and McDevitt will probably end up playing in the 4A title. We're assuming now that it'll be Trinity and Lancaster Mennonite, but man, it's a 2A versus a 3A school, but Lancaster Mennonite moved up from 2A, but throw these classifications out the window. And that's what I was going to mention to you, Dave Berman, when you or John, when you were talking about McDevitt being 4A. These are just programs with lots of really good players, and they have no problem playing kind of up or down in class. And so anybody want to take a
they're private schools too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to kind of shirk around coming right out with that.
Yeah, but, the classifications have a less of a bearing than they do in football, for sure. And in basketball, you can put 5 kids on the floor at any classification and have a pretty good group.
Yeah, even if you can find 2 really good ones, you know what I mean. Look what Burke said. I think players flock to Burke's Catholic because they want to be around like Coach Snip Esterly, and it's a great school. So I'm not going there, but I'm saying even if you have like one great player and you can put some real sound players around him or her, you're well on your way, don't you think?
Yeah,
absolutely. This time of year, it's good to have 3 scores this time of year.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Take away your 1-2 option. Yeah, a good coach can take away your first and second option, but if you've got 4 guys that can score, those teams usually can win.
Right. Okay, so Trinity Lancaster Mennonite could be a great final in 3A, and let's jump to 4A.
I think Trinity beat them early in the year, correct?
I could check right now. I didn't think they did.
I think they beat them early in the year, but I think this is a much different Mennonite team than they've seen after they've just been on beat Warwick, Hempfield, and
Oh man, you do your homework, Mike. Yeah, they beat them 77-58. Great call.
Mike,
So,
Mike,
yeah.
I have a question for Mike. Mike, you follow a lot of basketball. What is it about the Linville Hills, the Lancaster Mennonites? Both teams have won PIAA state titles over the past few years. These Mennonite kids, the style of ball, the all business. Why are they so? How can they hang with these more athletic teams?
I can't speak for Linville because I haven't really seen them much, but Mennonite, I know they just bring their lunch pail. They just play hard. They have good athletic kids. They have a nice mix of kids, play inside out, can hit down open shots. I mean, I think they're just work ethic, the way they play. They have the kids was scoring close to 20 points a game in Hearst. I think, and some good, solid, strong kids around them.
And Dave, I don't think they're all Mennonite either, by the way.
Absolutely.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
They're not all Catholic at those other schools either. Don't worry about it.
Oh, come on now.
All right. Let's move on to 4A. Defending champ is Berks Catholic. The few years before that, Eastern York in 2024, Berks in 2022, 2023, and then Middletown in 2021. That's the last 5. There again, Berks and McDevitt could be a great final. That's on Friday, the 27th of February. I can't. Now, let me just mention this. I reached out to a member of District 3, one of the board guys, the important guys there, and I asked him, where are the title games this year? Because they're not at Giant Center. He said, and I quote, "It's going to be at various locations. They've got some sites lined up. It's just a matter of matching these sites with the right contests." So the answer is they don't know where these championship games are going to be.
So Joe, just to go to that point, so all the boys and girls games this year, none of them are going to be at the Giant Center for district championship. So this is the first time in how long that this has happened?
Ever. Well, it used to be Hershey Park Arena.
Yes.
Supposedly there was like a conflict.
They're just going to be at random sites, like say Bishop McDevitt meets Berks Catholic. They're going to play somewhere in the middle, maybe.
Just like in football, or just like in rounds of state championship tournaments,
right?
Where you're trying to find it as close to the center, the middle.
A team that's going to be upset. A team that's willing to host it too.
That's right.
That's the difficult part.
And that's the part. And Mike, you're a coach.
With an open gym.
That's right. You have to have people, either volunteers or low-paid employees, willing to go in and open the concession stand and security and the right parking, and there's a lot to it, Mike, right?
So the other thing,
absolutely a lot.
the other thing too, Joe, is like they used to have 2-3 games a night. Like now you're going to have maybe one game at these locations. How are they going to get the district medals and all that stuff going to every location?
They're just going to have to ship them out, send them with somebody. I don't know. That's John. You ask very good questions. They're fair questions. It's gonna the mechanics of this whole thing have changed. Just hopefully just this year. Is it Hershey Entertainment? I believe they're Herco, or I think it's Hershey Entertainment. They said that it was just this year that there was a conflict, but I was told that this might be like an omen, like a sign of things to come, because they're much more profitable renting the facility out for like concerts and
weren't they talking about doing it like the Santander Arena, Joe?
I don't know about that, but I think that's a great location. You got that big parking lot across the street. Great. Oh, I do too, Coach. Big parking lot right across the street. Yeah, I feel the same. So let's jump into 5A here. Lots of Mid-Penn schools representing in 5A. We have.
I'm doing a game. I'm public address announcer for one of the opening round games featuring
Octorara and Redland.
Yes, Octorara 22-2, and Redland is 10-12. So it's the Lancaster Lebanon League versus the Mid-Penn Keystone. And what do you think's going to happen in that one, guys? You've seen both teams, Redland, and even though they've only won 10 games, Redland, they did beat Mifflin County. One of their games.
Yeah. Well, then I guess if that's the case, then they have to beat Octorara, right?
Oh, stop. I'm just saying. I sent you.
All right.
And Mifflin County also beat them by 17 points in the other game.
Let's run through all the Mid-Penn. There's a lot of Mid-Penn representation because there's a lot of 5A Mid-Penn schools. Milton Hershey, East Pennsboro, Northern York, Ty Savercool, Coach Savercool, what best wishes from all of us here. Redland.
First year coaching for him, and he gets them to the playoffs. Congratulations to Ty.
Dude, they're 16-6. They had a really good season. Yeah.
Awesome.
And he likes his team a lot. He told me that right out of the gate, like after the first couple workouts, I don't even know if there were practices at that point. He's like, man, this is a really good group. Hershey and Greencastle. So that's like seven schools.
Another first year coach, Solanco, Scott Gaffey, 15-7. They could win that against Cocalico is going to be a good one. Congrats, Scott.
5-12, 5 Lancaster or Cocalico's the 5s. Solanco and Scott Gaffey are the 12. And here, I'm kind of making. I guess I'm not really making predictions so much as I'm telling you, like, kind of the finals. I'd like to see. I'd love to see a Milton Hershey versus Hershey rematch. That's a 1 versus 2 seed here, and selfishly, I'd like to see those teams go.
Hey, Joe, if that happened, where would they play that championship game?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Palmyra.
And you know what? They both have gyms that are used.
The bottom of that bracket.
Let's put it back up there, and York Suburban, Exeter Township. The bottom half, I'm seeing.
I thought Exeter. Coming through the middle of the year, I thought Exeter was going to be a sleeper for me. I thought they'd be a lower seed. It'd be tough kids, a lot of seniors. They got a rare kid that can play. But then I seen the bracket come out, and I'm going, York Suburban draw. That's bad. You got Hershey, York Suburban, and who else down there?
West York's always good. They're 21-1. West York's 21-1, and their only loss was the Central Dolphin. That was early in the season. So.
You're right, Coach. Those are probably some of the best teams in 5A, and they're all down there.
Yeah, shame on me for not. Thank you, Mike, for bringing that up. I didn't mention that, but man,
the first thing you do as a coach is you look at that bracket and see where everyone's at.
Yeah. So yeah, you were bracket watching there, and I'm glad because there's some good. It's no conclusion that this is going to be a Hershey versus Milton Hershey final.
Do you know that even if you lose
in the first round, could be a semifinal.
Even if you lose in the first round of the District 3 5A, you're not done yet. You go through a battle for the 9th place team.
which is strange because there's 16 teams, and there are 16 in 6A. And if you lose in the first round in 6A, you're out. You're done. There's
Right.
no.
Yes.
If you lose in
That's
the
because-
second round, go ahead, Mike.
The other districts have so many more,
Right.
less 5A
Yep.
schools, so balance it out. We get more vacation, but
Right.
must be more in 6A around the rest of the state.
Okay, so here we got 6A, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's some very interesting matchups here. I mean, I keep saying it, Harrisburg, Central York without Brooklyn Nace, they're still talented. They still have a really good coach, and they still have experienced players that have won a lot of games at a very high level. But, Harrisburg's 12-10. They beat Central Dauphin. They had some really couple bad losses too, 2 or 3 bad. But I think they are so talented when they're playing well, when they're cohesive. I've seen them not getting along on the court here and there. We're not here to talk about negativity, but we're here to talk about Harrisburg, and they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde. Okay, they really are. But man, their first 3 are just so good. Mike, have you watched them, Coach Pilsons? Have you watched Harrisburg play at all?
I have not seen the Cougars play. As bad as that sounds.
That's okay.
They're dangerous, Joe. I mean, if they're on their A game, they could beat pretty much anybody in 6A.
Man, Demir Arps, I think, is playing at a very high level.
Joe, did you name the Mid-Penn teams here in the 6A?
The Mid-Penn teams are Central Dauphin, Cedar Cliff, Harrisburg, Chambersburg, Cumberland Valley, and Central Dauphin East.
Okay.
Jayon
has
Lewis.
Central York, correct?
They have Central York, and that's a 2-15. And I don't think you can count your chickens if you're Central York. I think, again, whatever. If the right Harrisburg team shows up, the Harrisburg team that beat Central Dauphin and that won a couple of big games, other big games, they're dangerous. They got athletes.
It'll be a fast-paced game for sure.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. But both teams play at the same speed. Chambersburg, Cumberland
when I
Valley.
see Central York, they shot every 4.6 seconds.
Yeah,
They got a shot up there. It's like, whew.
That's how they play. Chambersburg, Cumberland Valley, one of the Mid-Penn teams has to beat the other. They split during the season. 2 really good coaches, Sean Schreffler, Dave Vespignani. Something's got to give there. That's a 7-10. Chambersburg's the 7. Central Dauphin East draws Red Lion. That's a tough draw. But, you have a 14 seed. That's kind of what you get. I think Red Lion, from what I hear, has really good size. Coach Steve Little was telling us this. They have really good size, and they shoot the ball well. And then Reading, York, William Penn. I mean, that's just a classic first-round game. Reading's the 5. William Penn is the 12. I don't think there's much to say about Central Dauphin Manheim Township. I mean, with respect to Manheim Township, this just isn't one of their better teams. I know Manheim Township knocked Central Dauphin out of districts a few years ago. John, were you there with me? I mean, they just played phenomenal. They had that all-state player that was playing on one leg, and he lit Central Dauphin up. I forget his name, but he was really good. So that's about it.
Classic.
Yeah, the 8-9 is Cedar Cliff, Warwick.
Cedar Cliff,
probably a lot of really good shooters.
Pretty evenly matched.
How about this one? Reading has played in 7 of the 8 finals between 2016 and 2023. That's incredible. All with Coach Perez. And then the last 2 years, they didn't get there after Coach Perez left. But Central York is the defending champ. CV before that, and then Reading in 21 through 23. So, the other thing I forgot to ask you guys about, what are you guys' thoughts about trying to let me take this off. What do you guys think about us the Mid-Penn only having 4 teams in their tournament? I know, Mike, you're not a big fan of it, and I understand why. It's kind of weird that you see some upsets. Not that the teams that win those games aren't really good and really prepared, but like on the girls' side, York Suburban winning, playing DeLone Catholic in the final. Probably the 2 best teams are Red Lion and Dallastown. I still think they probably are, but And then McDevitt almost beat Central Dauphin. Would you prefer seeing 8 teams and turn it into like a more of a real tournament than just 2 nights and done?
Yeah, I think we brought this up last week,
As long
Joe,
as you're
and
not making too. Go ahead, Joe.
Here's who, and I'll turn it over to John, and then Mike, you jump in. Here's who would have competed. The other 4 teams had there been 8: Chambersburg, Milton, Hershey, Trinity, and Northern York. They would have been the next 4.
yeah, I mean, it's always better. Like the other leagues are doing an 18 tournament, right, Joe?
Yeah.
And they've been doing it forever,
Yeah.
and it creates a more of a playoff atmosphere. Just like Coach Esterly just said, you know what I mean? It's harder to win that county tournament than it is district some years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this year the Mid-Penn tournament was great. You know, the final games at least, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they went down to the wire. But a lot of years previously, they're not so close.
Right.
So I would love to see a larger field, 8-team tournament. The only thing is that the Mid-Penn teams would have to move their schedules
2 days. 2 days you need. You need 1 day of playing and 1 off day in between to prepare for the next round.
Right. But do you remember when we were talking to the York coach, Joe, a couple weeks ago? His season was ending, and our local teams in Mid-Penn still had another week to go.
Our teams were still playing on Wednesday, the day between the opening round and the championship games and they were games that counted.
Right.
Yeah. So, Coach Pilsitz, you're a coach. You've been a coach. Talk a little bit, Coach Mike Pilsitz, about the Mid-Penn, and would it be better? I know you're not a big fan, and it's not that you don't want to see the kids have a chance to play. It's just as a coach, you have a different a mindset or a different approach. But would it be better if there were 8 teams? Do you think?
I think the other counties have a much better product when it comes to their league championships by far than the Mid-Penn. I was never for a Mid-Penn tournament, and we spoke heavily about the reasons why. I thought we were always prepared, and the reason why we won so many district titles because we had that week of rest and practice. With that being said, the other counties definitely have a better product, and I think one of them does it. I'm not sure if it's Lancaster Lebanon or not, but they do a 2-2. What they do? A 3-3-1-1. So the 2 top divisions, the big schools, 6A and 5A schools, get 3 representatives each, and the lower 2 lower 2 divisions get only 1 representative. Is that York County? One of them does that, or they did that in the
3-1 and
past.
3-2.
They may have changed it.
Yeah, these just
okay,
have.
At one time, I believe at one time one of the counties did that. It probably did change. It's probably not the politically correct thing to do, but I just think it would be a better tournament.
It's the competitively correct thing to do, though, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, because and the reason why we went to 8 for a little while in the Mid-Penn, but the first round game was so embarrassing. Teams didn't want to participate. I mean, you've got 40-point wins. You got Central Dauphin going and playing a second place team in that lower division.
Right.
You're getting
that would have been like Northern York. Yeah. And the other thing is if you give the Commonwealth 3 representatives, the number 3 seed out of the Commonwealth would have been Cumberland Valley, who just took Central Dauphin completely down to the wire 2 or 3 weeks ago. So
they could win the tournament. They could legitimately win the tournament.
They could win the tournament with a 3 seed out of the Commonwealth.
Correct.
Okay, guys, I have to. I have another show coming up here in just a half hour. I got to get my notes ready. Anything else from you guys?
You want to run down District 6? We're in the semifinal round. District 6.
We cannot leave out District 6, Dave. I didn't know you were still with us. Your screen's off, but
it is.
Well, it's just showing a black screen. That's okay though. You sound fine.
I see myself. All right. Anyway, it's going to be it's all set. It's going to be State College gets a bye, 11-11 overall this year, state high. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, 8-6 in the Mid-Penn. They get a bye. The semifinal game, Mifflin County, much better. First winning season, just second in program history. First winning season since 2011-12. 12-10 this year, 5-9 in the Keystone. They host Altoona, 5-17 overall, 4-10 in the Mid-Penn. That's a semifinal game at a packed Mifflin County gym. Semifinal. And Altoona, though, 5 wins, but they beat Carlisle twice and they beat Harrisburg twice. So, and Mifflin County beat them last week in a regular season game by 25 points. It's hard to figure out this Altoona team, guys. What do you think?
Hey, Coach Pilsitz, could Lingelstown Gazette Sports talk you into heading up there and covering that Mifflin County Altoona game?
Joe will pay for your gas money.
I don't think there's enough gas in the world.
It'll be electric. It'll be electric.
It'll be electric. Oh man,
that's a big thing. And then District 6 Championship 6A will be on Thursday out at St. Francis, our St. Aloysius. So hopefully it'll be Mifflin County against State College for the 3rd year in a row. Believe it or not, you gotta love it. Real quick before I leave, Altoona 38 District 6 tournament championships. It started in 1924, 67 trips to the final game. State College 22 District 6 championships, and Mifflin County sadly has only had 1 District 6 boys basketball championship in 27 years. Hopefully this will be the year.
Okay, all right, that's District 6. By Dave Berman, the voice of Delco. All right, well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We want to thank Coach Snip Esterly, Berks County champion Coach Snip Esterly, overtime win over Reading Friday night. Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday night.
Friday.
John Velios, the voice of Delco, Dave Berman, Mike Pilsitz, state championship Steel High coach Mike Pilsitz. Always a pleasure. You contribute stuff that we're not able to because you've done things that we haven't done. So we really appreciate it. And let's just throw the sponsors back up there. And that's the platinum sponsors for Lingelstown Gazette Sports. So we will see you 2 weeks from tonight. We are going to have Coach Jason Fisher on from Devon Prep, or whenever the show right before the state championship starts, which I think is 2 weeks from tonight.
Yeah.
We were supposed to have him on a couple weeks ago, and he had some family things going on, but it worked out well because he's like, how about if I come on before the state championship tournament? And what's he won? 3 out of the last 4, Dave? Devon Prep?
Yes. So, incredible.
So
that's a couple of years he had kids ineligible because of that PIAA transfer bull crap. And he still won.
Well, that just goes to show how much talent he's got down there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, but we're excited to have him to be able to reschedule Coach Fisher for right before the state championship tournament. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good